So, good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss a topic of characteristics and functions of a language. So, before moving to the main topic, this is something about me. I have qualified my UGC NET of DEC 2025. Also, I am gold medalist in English literature. So, this is one of the brief introduction, something about me you can know, because this is very much necessary. Most of the time people ask that on what basis I am teaching them. So this was something about me. Today we are going to deal with the characteristics and design features of a human language. So today we are going to deal with the characteristics and the features of human language. So friends, this language is just a special gift to human beings. We communicate as a human, we communicate through language, but animals also do communicate, but their communication and our communication is very different. How it is different, that has been told by Hackett. He gave certain features to us, that what are the difference in their communication and in our communication. They only animals only communicate through sound. Animals only communicate through sounds, whereas human have a certain languages to communicate. So how their communication and our communication are different. So first of all, I will be reading certain definitions to you. Language is special gift to human beings. Animals too have a communication system opposed to humans who have a language. Animal can only express their feelings through various sounds, means they have the sounds, whereas human have the power of speech means we have a certain sounds which have the compounding characteristics. Redundancy is there, discreteness is there, there is creativity and productivity. These are the power of speech. We are going to discuss these things in detail in ahead, but before moving to that, we must know these lines. The important characteristics and design features of human language that differentiate human language and natural communication are listed by Hawkins. So these are the features which isolate language from other form of communication. So what are the features or the design features of human language which differentiate that particular language, our language, from animal communication? The first is duality of patterning. Friends, duality of patterning, we are going to discuss it in the detail. Creativity and productivity, interchangeability, cultural transmission, displacement and specialization. Friends, these 6 points are very much important, and these can be asked in not only in your masters or graduation, they can also be asked in your competitive exams related to English literature. So I will request you to go through these points in detail. At least these 6 points must be remembered by you. What are the, if it comes in your masters or in graduation, you can write about these points in detail in your words. Also, if these points comes in your competitive exams, you will be able to figure out what are the things which are going to ask you from the Hackett. So first thing we are going to discuss is duality of patterning. Hope this is visible to you. Duality of patterning or structuring. So what is duality of patterning or structuring? So friends, in a simple term, I will say human language is organized in two levels. Two levels. First level is, in the first level they will form the sounds, means there will be only the sounds what we called phonemes. Phonemes will be there, and these phonemes will combine. When these phonemes will combine, they will form the words. When these sounds will combine, these sounds will combine to form words. Second level of organization or compounding is when these words which are formed from phonemes, they combine to form sentences which gives us meaning. So this is two level of organization which we call duality of structuring or patterning in human language, which is not present in the animal communication. So friends, this is given in the theory format here. human beings can produce Human beings can produce an individual sounds which we call phonemes. Human language is organized at two levels of patterning. First is primary level, in which units of sounds, phonemes, combine to form words which we also call arbitrary signs. And at the secondary level, which I have already mentioned, these combine to form meaningful larger sentence, which is absent in the animal communication. In animal communication, only they can produce the sound. You can see here nib. N is one phoneme, A is second phoneme, and B is other phoneme. They combine to form word. Whereas These phonemes combine to form different words when they are combined in a different pattern. So this meaningless sounds, phonemes are combined to form arbitrary words such as nib. If they can also combine in different ways, producing a different meaning such as when we call it words. So hope you understood this. Now this is detailing of this patterning or structuring. In animal there is only one level, that is sound production. Means there is no evidence of compounding. You have also seen to the animals, they will be speaking a certain pattern, a certain sound, and there will be no formation or productivity in that. They will not form a sound by combining two or more sounds. They will only produce a single directional sound. They can create words. They cannot create words or sentences using words which we found in the human language. This feature is specific to human language and differentiate it from animal communication. Friends, seconds come the creativity and productivity. What is creativity and productivity in this? The ability of humans to create new messages on any topic. Means, for example, we don't know certain things, we are discussing about those things which is absent in the humans. In the animal communication, they will think, they will discuss, or they will produce the sounds on the basis what they perceive, what they listen, what they can understand on the basis of that. But human language, in human language we can create new messages which is beyond human thinking, or the thinking, or on the basis which we have never heard. Humans can create sentences they have never heard before. They can create novel sentence based on novel ideas such as, last night I had dinner with leopard on the top of tree. Is this possible? Is this pragmatic sentence? No, but human can create it, which is absent in the animal communication. The construction of such sentence involves creativity. Then from friends comes interchangeability. And interchangeability, both male and female species in in human communication can send and perceive messages, unlike in animal communication in which there is no interchangeability. Means, in animals, if the female is doing certain thing, it won't be done by the male animal, whereas in the humans it does not seem like this. Male and female can exchange their characteristics of language, whereas it is absent in the animals. For example, we can see in the animal communication, only male can create certain sounds like bird song, or only female can dance in animal communication. Now comes the fourth feature of human language, that is cultural transmission and convention. Means, friends, in a simple term, if I will say that language is not instinctive. It is not instinctive. Instinctive means it is not generational, or you do not get it by birth. You have to learn the language. अगर ऐसा होता, if it was possible that language is instinctive, then there would have been a one language in the world, but we have a different language. Hence language is non-instinctive. This can be also asked in your MCQs format, that is language instinctive or non-instinctive. Instinctive means we got it by birth, but we do not get it by birth. We have to learn the language. So it is given here, language is culturally transmitted. Means we have to learn the language which is given by our parents. If a person living in the North India, he will be definitely learning Hindi. If a person is born in the South India, definitely he will be learning the South Indian language like Malayalam, Telugu and others. So this is culturally transmitted. If you are born in some place, then culturally you get the language, you have to learn that language. So language is a set of convention. The language is a set of convention. It is not genetically transferred, but culturally transmitted. It implies that language need to be learned. It is non-instinctive behavior as opposed to instinctive behavior, such as sitting, walking, which comes naturally to human beings. Bees can build hexagonal vibes without learning it. That is instinctive behavior, whereas humans, building a house is non-instinctive. This explains why humans speak Hindi, Malayalam, Chinese, Japanese, depending on their culture where they have been brought up. These were the things which I simply explained you before. Now comes the fifth point, displacement. Means human can talk about the other things which are not related to the activities they are involved in the particular time. For example, you can see here, friends, you can be walking and talking about your school days. If you are walking, you can be talking about your friends. If you are driving, you are talking about the cricket. Means human can talk about the topics that they are remote in space and time. They can talk anything about that is in the past, that was in the past, that is in the present, and that will be in the future, about the things that are intangible. non-existence and non-visible. For example, the moon, stars, dragons, fairies, heaven, hell, and etc. These things are not visible. They have not seen either of them, but they will talk about them, which is absent in the animal communication about the imaginary past or future. Animal can't communicate and do the things about the things which had happened in the past or the things which are going to happen in the future. Their communication is context bound, whereas human language is context free. Human language is not controlled by stimulus. Now friends, fourth point is specialization. Means human beings can talk while engaged in different activities. This is the specialization of the language, whereas animal have to be fully concentrated and focused when they are communicating, when they are producing the sound, whereas in human beings this is not. If you are involved in other activities, even though you can communicate about certain things, you can use the language to talk about other topics. That is written here. Human beings can talk while engaged in activities totally unrelated to subject under discussion. They can talk about cricket while cutting vegetables. A bee, for example, for the animals, a bee dance is total involvement in the communication process. So this is different from animal communication. What are we, as a human, we have specialization in language, whereas in animals it does not. If they are doing or producing a sound, they have to be completely involved in the process. The example of bee has been given here. Some other features of language which is given by other linguists, you can see here, that is arbitrariness. In simple terms, friends, I say, means the symbol which you get for a particular thing. For example, I am taking example of apple. The apple, this is the name and this is the symbol of apple. So is there any relation of this symbol to this word which has been assigned to this symbol, the apple we are calling it? Is there any logical relation of calling this symbol as apple? There is no logical relation. If there was a logical relation between them, then there must be a single name for this apple. In Hindi we call it save, in Malayalam we call it something different, but in English we call it apple. So there is a different name for different symbol. Means the language is arbitrary, means this is not fixed. There is no logical relation between the symbol and the word which has been assigned to that particular symbol that has been given in this. So linguists call that language is arbitrary, means there is a no logical relation between the symbol and the name assigned to it. The feature was proposed by Saussure. This feature of arbitrariness was first proposed by Saussure. This forms of linguistic science bear no logical, intrinsic, or natural relation to the meaning. There is no inherent relationship between the words of language and their meaning. Now friends, moving to bit of detailing about this, you can see here the ideas conveyed by them, they have no arbitrary relationship. You can see here the example I am reading. Why is rose a flower? Why we call rose a flower, not a bird? Or cat has no logical answer. Why we called it cat, or why we don't call it other things? So people decided to call it a rose, and the society accepted it as a word in English language. If the language had not been arbitrary, there would have been only one language in the world. Friends, I have already mentioned about it. Redundancy means we have certain pattern, we have a certain thing. For example, are you coming? We are placing verb before the subject and the question mark in the end. It indicates that it is a question, whereas this thing is not found in the animal communication. Is there any sounds which are placed first and then spoken at the last? There will be difference in that? No, that there will be no difference in the animal communication. But in the language, if we put the verb in front of subject and the question mark in the end, that means it indicates that someone is asking the question, which is absent in the animal communication. Means this is redundancy. There are two markers to show that it is a question: placing verb at the beginning, rising tone in the spoken language, and the question mark in the written format act as the markers. Such markers do not exist in animal communication. Friend, then there is a discreteness means sounds in human language are different. They are separate from one another, whereas sounds of animals are the same. For example, I'm saying that a person living in Australia, whereas the person living in the India, When they will speak English, they will be speaking the same sentences, but their pronunciation, their sound will be completely different. But if the animal, if there is a cow here and if the cow is in the different country, they will be speaking with the sound, with the same sound. There will be no difference in their communication of sound. Second is the reflexiveness. Reflexiveness means, friends, reflex means to reflect back, means the ability of this language is, there is in such a way that it can describe itself, means ability to use the communication style to reflect on the system of this language itself. That is the reflexiveness or the characteristic, this reflexiveness characteristics of the language. Means by using the language itself, we can describe the function, the feature of language, that is reflexiveness. So friends, this was all about the characteristics and the features of a language. Hope you understood it. And those other four features you can skip it, but these six patterns by Lockett are very very important, and these are often asked in your competitive exams. So this will be my request, that you must go about these six in detail, and you must understand what is mentioned in these 6 points by Lockett. So this is all about the characteristics and the feature of human language, how it is different from animal communication. Hope you understood it. I have tried my best to explain it, and at the last I will thank you for listening it, and hope you found it helpful.